Hello boys and girls, I am back to film a different milkweed type for you to see, and this is one that you might notice. This is called common milkweed. It is called common milkweed because it is the most common found. Now this is at the end of its growing season. However, you will see some fresh leaves growing here which are so soft because I had cut off the dead flower parts of this plant. I cut them off because I wanted the monarch butterfly female to come by, and if she potentially thought this was a nice food source, she would lay eggs on that for her young. So these bloomed around June, I'd say 22nd, and then they form their seed pods, which look like this. Now, I want you to take a look closely at that seed pod. It's beautiful, but it also has a spider web on it. So, not only is the milkweed plant, and it's very tall, that's as tall as me, by the way, this plant right there in front of me. Not only is it extremely tall, okay, not only is it extremely tall, but it is home to many other creatures. Spiders, ants, aphids, which I don't have any on this right now, milkweed beetles, milkweed bugs, stink bugs, assassin beetles. All of them live on this milkweed plant and call it home. And the monarch will lay her eggs right on it. Now, if you notice on this plant, you see this white drip down the side. That's when I cut it, it dripped out a milky sap, which is actually latex. Okay, that latex is poisonous. So when a monarch caterpillar eats that, it makes it poisonous. That is why a monarch actually is orange. Orange is a symbol of, hey, stay away from me. I taste bad. There are some animals, however, that are able to eat a monarch. Praying mantis. It's a big predator for butterflies, actually. And even the little tiny mice that live around. The mice have found a way to eat the middle and not the wings. So you can find mice, you can find other insects on here. And as I'm talking to you, and again, this is what is always fascinating to me, as I'm talking to you and I'm looking forward on to my leaf, I want you to look at these eggs. Now, if you didn't know, you might think that those are monarch eggs. They are not. Monarchs do not lay eggs like that at all, and these are round, and they're in a bunch. Monarchs lay eggs singly, and usually one per plant. So that is another insect that's laying eggs. And another type of insect that lays eggs on the milkweed plant, along with that, which I believe is a milkweed beetle, but I'd have to check into it. Ladybugs lay eggs on milkweed, usually under the underside of leaves, like under here they would lay eggs. And also a lacewing bug will lay eggs on here. So really it's an entire ecosystem that inhabits this plant. And on these seed pods that we've been talking about, other insects punch a hole through that, really tiny, and they will lay in there their eggs so that that seed pod opens up and you think seeds are going to come out, but instead a bunch of insects come out. And that is a milkweed beetle. So again, ecosystems can happen on individual plants, and milkweed is a great ecosystem to study about. And I've been researching and learning about them for over 12 years, and I still learn new things every single year about them. And I've read a lot about this plant. I read a lot of people's blogs. I read a lot of books on milkweed. I have a large collection of books on milkweed and milkweed insects and milkweed bugs, and I still learn new things every year. I just say spiders. There's so many different spiders that live on here. So many that I couldn't even list them for you. I don't know all of them. I have found snails. I have found slugs. I have seen mice. I have seen goldfinches, which is a bird. I have seen all different kinds of insects, praying mantises, everything. There's been a lot. So again, you never know what you might find when you look at a particular plant. And this is just one plant example, but it just happens to have a lot of animals that live on it. So I call it the milkweed ecosystem. But actually my entire garden, as I'm going to scroll this for you, I'll try to go slower so I don't give you a headache. My entire garden is actually an ecosystem. And then my entire backyard is also an ecosystem. Because an ecosystem is an entire place where things cohabit and live together. But again, it could be as simple as one plant ecosystem or multi-plant ecosystem. And even that tree, like look how tall this tree is in my neighbor's backyard, or the one across farther over there. Even that tree and even this tree is in its own entire ecosystem. It's very fascinating. If you are a person that likes to observe, I recommend going outside and looking. But you have to be patient. Animals don't cooperate for you. You have to cooperate for the animal. So there are times when I come out here and I don't see anything. And that's okay. And there are other times when I just feel that there's something around. And I look and I'll see some butterflies flying around. And they do come around the same time every day. So that is something that you could notice. Monarchs will be flying around all through September. Even into October. I even found some around Thanksgiving, which is crazy because it's kind of cold sometimes. But if you go outside and if you look, you'll find different creatures.